Hey everybody, I'm Jessica English and I am on a journey of helping others to find healing as I have found healing in all 5 areas of their life, from the mind, body, soul, emotional, and relational areas of their life. And I've experienced it. I am 99.9% pain-free at this point after dealing with chronic pain for most of my adult life. I'm also experiencing such an emotional healing that I can't wait for those of you who are following to experience it as well. It's been so transformational, and the last 2 years have been incredible, but it didn't start out incredible. In fact, it has been a really rough road. If you've been following, you saw my last video about how just dealing with chronic pain and how it has affected me. But today, I just want to share with you a couple of things about just a couple of snippets of during the healing journey of what had helped me. One of those things was the power of music, and I'm going to talk about that today. But just to give you a little background, my story started with this part of the health journey about a little less than 2 years ago, and it started in October of 2023. I started with headaches. I started having all kinds of just symptoms that led from this doctor to that doctor to this doctor to that doctor to MRI to lumbar puncture, just trying to find answers. You may know what I'm talking about. You may be in a boat or know somebody who is in a boat where they're just trying to find answers. And so because you don't want to be, or they don't want to be looked at as crazy, because that's how I felt. You know, you don't want to be the crazy person because you look fine, but you don't feel fine. I remember being at a point where, gosh, I was having so many symptoms, like I said, the headaches. I lost my vision at times. There was just a point where I was in crippling pain that I could barely even walk down the steps. There was just constant pain in my legs. I was having trouble with my legs going to sleep, my feet, my hands, neuropathy. EMG test I took said that actually that it was even irreversible. And so I just, I had nauseousness, fatigue. I was gaining weight. I just had so many problems. I had ulcers in my mouth. I had just joint pain, just lots of things, and ringing in my ears. So there's just so much going on, and I was searching for answers, just trying to find it, trying to find what is the thing that's causing all this. And what I learned over the last 2 years is that it's not just one thing. It is a lot of things that cause. And I'm going to share so much about that on this channel. So please subscribe and comment below if you are dealing with anything yourself. I want to pray for you, and I want to walk this journey with you. And today I just want to share with you, during that journey, I went to, I did all the Western medicine stuff. I did the medication. I did trying to find the answers. And then I finally went the holistic route. I changed my diet. I went on a detox diet, and I did the supplements, and I did, all of the natural things that I could possibly do. But there was still a missing component, and that's the mindset shift. That was the emotional healing that I needed to come, and it did come, and it was powerful. And one of the things that I really learned through that was just leaning into the Lord through worship and just transforming my mindset. And last week I was at youth camp, and they were doing I was volunteering with our students, and they did a song called Sound Mind. And I had never heard it before, but I can't get it out of my head because it's so good, and it's literally what I experienced and went through. And I am linking it below so that you guys can check that song out if you have not yet. But it was such a good song, and it just, the lyrics were so powerful to me, and they're exactly what I experienced. And I really started to heal about 9 months ago. Like, yes, it's been almost a 2-year journey, but I really started to heal about 9 months ago. And the song, that the Sound Mind, it talks about whatever is true and lovely. I fix my thoughts on you. I've got a spirit of praise for the heaviness, and I've got a sound mind. And y'all, like, there was a point where I did not always believe that. Like, I did not always believe that. Like, I was dealing with serious, like, negativity. There was a time where I felt broken physically, emotionally, spiritually. I felt like the relationships were broken. I just felt broken in every way. And I mean, I only mentioned these last 2 years on this video, but like, this has been part of my chronic pain, has been part of my journey for most of my adult life. And I had unanswered questions. I had this invisible pain, and it's like, people think you're crazy because you're saying what you might say, well, I feel this way, but you look fine because you're able to do your job, but you're struggling because you feel alone. Maybe you feel alone. I'm not sure where you're feeling today, but you're not alone. And there are people like myself who are praying. I'm praying for you through this, whatever you're going through. I know that God didn't put me on this YouTube platform for myself. Like, I'm not even like, I feel inadequate to do this, but I feel like there's somebody there that, maybe it's you, and maybe you say, I've been suffering with pain and I need answers. And I just want to share with you, some of the things that helped me on my healing journey. I really started leaning in about 9 months ago to just that quiet, alone time with the Lord, and just focusing on the Word, getting one notebook to just write down what God was speaking to me in the Word. And at the beginning of it, this was new to me. You would think, being a pastor's wife and all this, like, that would be something that was common to me. But I had Martha syndrome, guys. Like, I was busy doing for God instead of being with God. Like, I had Martha syndrome so bad. And so I began to be with God and let His Word speak to me, and I'd write those things down, and like that began to transform. And then I began to just like start leaning into like, I read several different books I followed about emotional healing. I followed some great YouTubers about emotional healing and science in the Bible, and just like, it was so transformational for me. And so I began to write those things down and just like adapt and rewire and retrain my brain to not go down old thinking patterns. And even this past weekend, my brain started to try to go down an old thinking pattern of negativity, and I caught myself, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing this. Like, I am not. I am different now, and I don't want to go back to the old version of me. I don't like that version of me. I don't want that. It is a retraining of your nervous system. It is a reclaiming of your soul. You have to rewire and transform the old thinking into new ways of thinking, and that doesn't happen overnight. Like, for me, it's been a journey. It's been a process. Like, it did not happen overnight. Listen, you're not crazy, you're not alone, and you're not beyond healing. I believe that if God carried me through it, He can carry you through it as well. There was a time I remember just kneeling at the altar and crying and praying and saying, God, I want to be healed. And I remember Him saying clearly to me in a spirit, He said He would heal me, but that I would have to go through it for Him to get the glory. And I thought that was crazy. It didn't make sense. And when I shared it with others, they thought that didn't make sense either. But now I can look back and I can see why He did carry me through it, because He does get the glory out of this, because it wasn't about me. And I learned so much over the last 2 years, and I wouldn't have traded this for anything in the world. I'm so thankful. When I look at the year 2024, I think of transformation. I think of healing. Those are the two words that come to mind for me. Maybe I'm believing this is your year for transformation, for healing, for a new mindset. I'm just even going to share with you something I had wrote down in my journal this morning, and that was, I listened again to that, and I thought about the chains that were broken for me. More recently, over this last 9 months, I'll tell you, pride, fear, resentment, anger, unforgiveness, bitterness. Those are some of the things that, look, those are some of the chains that were broken for me. And I'm just saying to you, like, I know that maybe people look at like ministers and all as like they're so perfect and all this, but look, we are normal people that are trying to serve God and do our best and, to honor the Lord, but we still have real life issues. And so I was dealing with those things of hurt. I had some unforgiveness that I didn't even realize I had. I had some bitterness that I didn't realize I had. Like, just because we're in a ministry role doesn't mean that we're not going to experience those types of things. And I just want each one of you to know that God has the power to break any chains in your life, whether it's any of those that I mentioned, or maybe it's addictions, or maybe it's, just, I don't know, it could be anything that is just holding you back from becoming the best version of you that God created you to be. And these were things that were holding me back. Listen, I just know that this is a journey. Don't expect it to like it can happen overnight. Like you can become instantly better, healed, completely like transformed in your mind. But rewiring and thinking differently than you've always thought does take time. You will catch yourself going down old thinking patterns again of like, okay, you know, negativity or whatever it might be. For me, it was just like being negative. And I caught myself and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that again, because that puts me in a bad place where I don't want to be. I have a sound mind, and I'm going to share that song in the comments below. I'm also going to share with you, if you are interested, you can click the link. I have a playlist that I'd love to share with you, which is some songs that I used during my healing journey that were so transformational and healing for me. I'm going to share that with you. It's just a free download of a PDF, and you know, you can play those songs on your Spotify. Listen, I encourage you to document your journey, because today is the day that starts the new you. Today is the day where you're going to, you know, if you receive this and you'll say, yes, this is me, I'm going to do it, then today is the day that you can mark down in your journal, this is a new day for me, a day of healing, and I'm going to start this journey, and I want to walk with you on that journey. Download that free resource, and if you do, I'll be able to send you some different emails just to maybe help encourage you, stay connected with you, and I look forward to getting to know you more. Share this with your family and friends, especially if those that you know that may be suffering or maybe going through any kind of like health situation. I'm not a doctor, certainly not going to try to pretend like I'm one. I don't have all of the answers, but I can help you with showing you what I've learned. And I know what God's done for me, and I know that He can do it for you. And let's do this journey together. Like, subscribe, comment below if I can pray with you in any way. God bless you. Have a great day.